all know that I'm a big fan of the human touch in customer experience. I still am. I think the human part of the interaction between customers and companies is more important than ever. Even though we have seen the largest usage in digital tools in history this year for entertainment, communication, commerce, but still the human part is really important. But we have to scale it. We have to change our mentality. Human does not equal offline anymore. I think that we can, of course, use the human touch in the offline world, but we can also use it through digital channels, in Zoom meetings, in WhatsApp messages, in messaging messages. We can scale it and use those human capabilities, empathy, passion, creativity, but use them in a large scale to reach as many people as possible with your human touch. If I think about the future of e-commerce, I think it's going to be faster and it's going to be slower. First dimension, it's definitely going to become faster. You already see this in Asian markets. They deliver within 29 minutes wherever you may be. A next phase is going to be called lightning delivery times of 5 to 10 minutes. So you see this trend of faster and more personalized deliveries. That's one dimension. Second dimension, in my opinion, is going to be slower e-commerce, because I don't know about you guys, but I often order stuff that I don't need the same day. I don't need it the next day. So I could easily ask those companies to bundle a number of my e-commerce orders and bring them all together at the end of the week to my house or to another place. And if we do that, if we bundle it, I mean, this can have a positive impact on mobility, on climate. It's better for the planet. So if I think about the future of e-commerce, I think it's going to be faster, but it's also going to be slower. Sometimes people ask me, Steven, you always talk about customer experience, but what about employees? And then they often refer to those stories that they read in the press of companies like, for instance, Amazon, that have very happy customers, but apparently have unhappy employees, and the circumstances in those warehouses are not always that great. So how does that work? And when you dive into the research, what you see is that it is possible to have happy clients without happy employees, that those companies exist. The other way around is much more interesting. If you have happy employees, it's almost a certainty that you will have happy customers. Happy employees breed happy customers, not the other way around. In the past decade, we talked about online versus offline. We talked about digital versus analog. I think we need to stop with that immediately. Today, every interaction that you have in the world has the potential to have a digital layer on top of that. I think if you look outside right now, you don't see the entire world anymore. There is like an invisible layer on top of our world that is increasing in importance every single day. If you look to my field of expertise, customer experience, I'm convinced that pretty soon every interaction, and I mean that really every interaction, will have a digital component to it. So let's not talk about online versus offline anymore, not analog versus digital. Let's talk about a hybrid world where we combine the strengths of offline and digital in one flawless kind of interaction. In the past 10 years, we saw the rise of technologies like 4G, mobile, and social. And one of the consequences of these technologies is that the world experienced a higher level of convenience. Companies that grew very hard in the last 10 years were experts in creating digital convenience. Think about Amazon, Zalando, think about Booking.com, think about WeChat, all experts in creating a flawless experience. Today, digital convenience is no longer a differentiator. It is a minimum need. It has become a commodity. If you have it, that's fine. If you don't have it, you're in deep trouble. And I think as organizations, we need to be aware of that digital convenience won't differentiate you anymore from competitors. It is just the most natural thing in the world for all of your customers. If I see the interface of the future, the successful interface of the future, I see 4 dimensions there that are important. First of all, they will be more invisible. Technologies like artificial intelligence and IoT make it more invisible and create like magical experiences that just happen without any effort or action from the customer. The second one is more personalization. It's going to be about the individual needs, and interfaces will be adapted to those needs. It's about zero effort. A successful interface does not require any effort from the user. And it's about proactivity, solving problems before the customer actually knows that there's a problem. Those are, in my opinion, the characteristics of the interface of the future. Of course, it's really important to get customer feedback. When you want to optimize your customer experience, you need insights from the customer. In today's world, I believe you have two sources that you should work with to create the best possible insights. On the one hand, look at the behavior of your customers. Make the analysis of what they do with your products. Use data to have, fact-based insights. That will help you. The second dimension is actually do ask for their attitude, ask for their feedback, ask them what they like, what they dislike. And if you combine those, the attitude and the behavior of people, you have the perfect combination of insights to optimize every single detail of your customer journey. In a traditional org chart, the CEO is on top, then you have top management, middle management, and then all the way down. What if we turn this around? What if we turn hierarchy upside down? And we put the CEO on the bottom, then top management, middle management, and on top, the most important people are the ones that are the frontline people that work every single day with customers. What if we flip hierarchy like this? What if we make it the most important job for the CEO, top management, middle management to facilitate the frontliners to have the best possible customer experience in the world, to give them the energy to make the customers the happiest people on the planet? I truly believe if we would flip hierarchy like this, that we can create a whole new customer experience, a whole new culture where the customer is more central than ever. If you want to create proactive service, it's important that you understand the consumption patterns of your customers. Take your weekly grocery shopping that you do. People think that they have very strange patterns, but the truth is 80% of the stuff that you eat and you drink in your house is the same every single week, which means that there's a pattern, which means that you can have data to identify that pattern. Once you have that pattern, you can start to predict. It's like what a company in the US does, Boxed. They discover those patterns and then they predict what kind of products you need the next week. And at the end of the week, they bring you a box with all the stuff that you need. If you want to create proactive service, the only core ingredient that you need is to discover those consumption patterns of your customers. If something goes wrong between a customer and a company, in many cases, that company starts with doing the research where the mistake happens. They want to figure out if it was the mistake of their own company or they want to figure out if the mistake was done by the customer. They invest a lot of energy in that research process and then they go back to the customer. And in some cases they say, hey, dear customer, you made a mistake. So you know what? We're not sure if we can help you and so and so. Consequences, customer becomes angry. Next consequence is the company fixes it for the customer, but there's a whole mountain of negative energy that was created because of that. What I would suggest is if something happens, if something goes wrong between you and your customer, don't look for the person who made the mistake. Just fix the problem. Even if it's the mistake of the customer, just fix it and the customer will remember that forever. Just fix the problem.